Hi everybody! Welcome to the world of Deena Safari. This week I'm going to talk about a book that I just finished yesterday. Actually, it took me a little while to read this one because it was kind of like a devotional book. We read it for my small group at North Point. The men and the women actually split up this past, I think 6 weeks. This was our study, Mended by Angie Smith. Long story short, she started a blog, just got really huge with everybody. I have read a lot of spiritual books lately. I've read a couple and I've talked about them on here. They just have not hit me the way this one did. What Beth Moore says at the front, I'm going to read it because this is the best way to sum this book up. You let your guard down and receive even before you mean to. There were so many chapters where I just started crying out of nowhere. Like I had no idea why. I just started bawling. And it's because something just hit me in the heart. I mean, she touches on so many aspects, I think, of just life. It doesn't even have to be a Christian life, but just life. She like touches on everything. My favorite chapter is The Past in the Picture, which is the first one. Wicked Weeds was a really good one. Blessed be the name and what is left. So there are a couple lines. I'm just going to read this one that is the end of the book. She's talking about how hard it is to wrap this book up. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting in this coffee shop and I can't figure out, the words are not coming and everything. So suddenly she sees this woman who's about 70 something. Okay. She's helping an older woman who is her mother come into the coffee shop, and she's watching them. In that sweet, honoring, slow gesture, a woman helping someone who had surely helped her many times before. The tenderness of it was breathtaking. I don't know what to say other than in that moment, through the love of another woman, I remembered that we serve a God who loves us to the end of our days. Deeply and with fond affection for our every step. Just a minute. So anyway, the book is full of little phrases like that, little things that just hit you. So this book is an emotional sniper. One minute you're fine, you're just reading a book, and then the next minute you're like crying over a single little line that is just so beautiful. To sum up, I would say it's just a beautifully written book. I mean, this woman has been through so much emotional trauma, and you think, oh my God, like how can she have this faith? How could she trust in God and believe that He is good and all these things when she has been through a lot of stuff? I'm glad that we did this study. I do have a couple of little issues with it. I feel like some of the chapters were kind of filler. I just didn't get the metaphors. Some of the sentences randomly throughout, I felt like she needed to read them out loud and then she would have rephrased them because there are a couple awkward sentences in here that made me stop. So her father gets cancer. And she's like, no. So she prays and she's like, hey, God, I'll find out more about you. I promise I'll get to know you and everything if you take away my dad's cancer. And guess what happens? A miracle. Her father is cured of his cancer. To put it politely, I was very angry that the story started out with like a miracle because I'm like, that's not reality. People with cancer don't just magically get healed one day. Yes, they go through treatments and stuff, but I don't think he even went through treatment or anything. I think he was just healed. All right. I was very offended as someone who, I'm struggling still because of my mother's death because of cancer. I didn't like the start of the book that she opened with. I told God I'd get to know him and everything. He did this amazing miracle for me. I just prayed the wrong things when my mom had cancer. Maybe I should have just said, hey, God, I'll get to know you more. I think my heart was very close to it because of that, because I was pretty pissed. That's not reality. That doesn't happen. We all know that. Yeah, I didn't like the start. It's because we live in a society and in a world that places value really only on your looks and youth. I know with women, we are really affected by aging. There's billion-dollar industries out there because of this, that we're afraid to age. We're afraid, our husbands aren't going to love us anymore if we gain weight or if we get older. We're not that attractive 20-year-old anymore. People aren't going to like us as much. People aren't going to be nice to us, if we're not young anymore and have something to offer the world, I guess. Imagining that you're loved, the same level of love throughout your whole life, from when you're a baby to when you're 95 and can't do things for yourself really, on either spectrum. Imagining that you're loved the same by someone throughout your life and to the end. There's just something about that is so beautiful and so touching. There's something, I think, in our hearts and in our souls that aches for that we need that. We need to feel like we're loved unconditionally forever as we are. I think that's what is so pivotal and really, to me anyway, I think that's why it hit me so hard. If you're looking for a book that's really going to, I think, affect you on a soul level and is a very easy read, Mended by Angie Smith. Sorry about the tears. But that's how I've been spending my mornings. You know, I'm sitting here reading to Evie. You know, we do our little morning devotional together. I try to read to her so that she's hearing more words and getting a bigger vocabulary. And I'll start crying, and she's kind of like, Mama. No, it's okay, child.